This is Mr. Anderson for Keller Community College. We're going to be looking at two problems from section 2.5 today. This is on page 126 if you're following along in the 9th edition book. On page 126, problems numbers 49 and 53, which comes under the heading, write an equation of the line containing the specified point and parallel to the indicated line. Now I am using a mouse. I am not using a stylus or a pencil, so drawing with a mouse is a little bit more difficult than actually writing with the tablet, so let's continue going on here. Okay, so x minus 2y is equal to 3. Now, what I need to do is find a line parallel to this one that goes through this point. Now, I need the slope from this line, but since it's not given to me in slope-intercept form, I'm going to have to move things around to get that to be the case. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. These x's simplify. So negative 2y is equal to negative x plus 3. And then we are going to then divide everything by negative 2. This is just using inverse operations. And the negative 2 is simplified to 1. 1y is just y. And negative x divided by negative 2 is positive 1/2 x. And I write it like that instead of x over 2 because now I have the slope minus 3/2 or plus a negative 3/2 or 1.5. But really the y-intercept doesn't excite me because really what I need in this problem is the slope. The slope is going to be 1/2. And this is going to be the slope of my new line that goes through this point. So y is equal to mx plus b, and what I'm going to do is plug in my slope, and that gives me y is equal to 1/2 x plus b. Then I'm going to plug in my point. So the point that I have over here, this 2, 5, is going to get plugged in here, and it's going to give me a different y-intercept, because these lines are going to be parallel and they're not going to intersect. So the y is going to be 5. 1/2 is my slope. My x is going to be 2 plus b. Now 2 times the 1/2, 2 times the 1/2 is just 1. So 5 is equal to 1 plus b. If I subtract the 1 from both sides, like so, I'm going to get an answer of 4 is equal to b. So this is my y-intercept. So my original line was this up here, which is 1/2 x minus 3/2. My new line is going to be the 1/2 x, and for it to travel through the point 2, 5, it has to go through the y-intercept of 4. So there it is. Y equals 1/2 x plus 4. So these lines are, in fact, parallel to each other, and they have different y-intercepts. You're never going to use the y-intercept from the original problem when you manipulate it to get the y by itself here. You can check your work using a graphing calculator, and I can show you that in class if you bring yours. All right, so the next of the two problems that we're going to look at here, we're going to, first of all, clear this out here. All right, our second problem is going to be 53. And problem 53 adds a little bit of difficulty because it's one of the problems we didn't cover exactly in class, but also it has fractions in it. So we're going to do a little bit of fraction review here from your previous courses. And here's your original equation. 2x plus 3y is equal to negative 7. Just checking my work here. And the point that we want to go through is negative 2, comma negative 3. So the first thing I would need to do is get the y by itself so we can see what slope we got to be parallel to. So I'm going to subtract the 2x from both sides. Subtracting the 2x from both sides, this gives me 3y is equal to negative 2x minus 7. Divide everything by 3. And we get y is equal to negative 2/3 x minus 7/3. Now again, we don't really care about the y-intercept, but the slope we do care about. The slope is negative 2/3, and we will use that when we get started with the next part of the problem. So we're going to take our y equals mx plus b, our normal equation for slope-intercept equation for the line, and plug in my slope, which is negative 2/3. We also need to find the line that goes through the point negative 2, negative 3, so I'm going to plug those in for my y and plug that in for my x as well. plus b. Okay, so now we get to multiply fractions together. You can use your calculator and use a parentheses 2/3 or -2 divided by -3 in parentheses multiplied by -2. This will give you a fraction of 4/3. And you can use the math frac button to get that back into the 4/3 form, plus b. Now we got to subtract -4/3. We got to subtract 4/3 from both sides to get the b by itself. Now you can't subtract -3 and 4/3 from each other because they have different denominators. This is a denominator of 1 and this is a denominator of 3. So what we're going to do is change the -3 into something with a common denominator of 3. So that would be -9/3. Getting common denominators is pretty straightforward. You just look to see what number I would have to multiply this numerator and denominator by to get this denominator down here. So -9/3 is equivalent to -3. But what we get here is we get, excuse me, what we get here is we get now the answer. Let's see here, everything seems to be okay. Just checking my work here. Okay, so now we just, these simplify. -9/3 minus 4/3 is -13/3, and that's equal to b. So if you look at your two things you've done here, you found your y-intercept, you found your slope, so your answer is going to be y equals -2/3 x minus 13/3. And that will be your answer that matches in the back of the book. You can analyze the first equation. This is our line we're parallel to. Notice they have the same slopes, but different y-intercepts because these are two separate lines. All right, well, thank you for watching.